Hello friends, welcome to our channel Learn New Desire. Thanks for your comments and suggestions on our last video. It was really amazing to listen good feedback from all of you. If you are new to this channel, these are series of episodes on Scratch programming. In this series, I would like to teach kids about coding with interactive yet simple interface called Scratch, developed by MIT Media Labs. Before jumping straight into today's video, let's have a quick recap of our last video. In our last video, we have explored Scratch programming website and also learned basics of Scratch programming. I'll leave the link of the video in the description and also I'll link it on the iCard above. You can click and watch. So yeah, let's jump directly into today's video's outline. In today's video, we are going to build an interesting game. I call it Neon Wall. You can call it anything you want. We'll cover how you can use broadcast messages, variables and other some advanced blocks of Scratch programming. So here is a quick demo of our Neon Wall game. Alright, here is our game. So you see this ball and this paddle, I call it pad. So this is a danger zone. So this ball will be bouncing all over the place. On mouse movement, we need to make the ball hit on the paddle. When you make the ball hit on paddle, you will score a point, and if the ball falls directly onto the danger zone, game is over and you can have an option to restart. So let's quickly play it. So yeah, oh yeah, it fell down. So let's jump into the game. Creation of game. We'll create new project. So this is our platform. You obviously know from the last session. So I'll just quickly rename this one as Neon Game. You can name whatever you want. I'll quickly delete this Scratch sprite. So I'll add a new sprite. Before that, I'll create a backdrop. As in, when we've seen that backdrop in our game, we have a neon tunnel. We'll just quickly go to add a backdrop and choose a neon tunnel. Yeah, here it is. So we need mainly 4 sprites. One is a ball, one is a pad, one is being the danger zone, and a restart button. So I'll quickly create those things. First of all, let me add a ball quickly. Yeah, this is the ball I'll add. I'll go to costumes and I'll change the color. Feel free to choose whatever color you want. And now I'll create one more sprite, that is a pad. So we don't have exact pad whatever we want, so we can quickly paint it. Click on paint, choose this rectangle box, draw a small rectangle, go and remove the outline. So you can align it to the center. This is how you can create you can just adjust your padding size, whatever size you want. Let me keep this medium size. Yeah, I'll come here and I'll name it as pad. After this pad, we need one more danger zone sprite. Let's paint that as well. So come back to rectangle tool, create a big rectangle, make it overflow this area because we need to cover the entire zone. Whenever it comes back, the ball comes and falls on this particular danger zone. You can choose red color. I'll prefer dark one. So if you want to add a name as a danger zone, whatever seen in the game demo, you can quickly do that by clicking on text. You can say danger zone, and also you can select this, change the fonts. There are pretty good fonts. I'll prefer this font. I know you can't see the color. I'll quickly go and change the color saturation down to 0. That way, yeah, this will be visible. Oh yeah, so this is done. So let us call this as danger. So we have ball, pad, danger, and yes, one more thing is restart. So whenever our game ends, we need to have a restart button. So when you click the restart button, the whole game should start it again. So let us paint that as well. So you can delete this. I will just paint a new restart button. So the same way, you create a black block, a white block. So on white block you can add a restart. Yes, it's not visible. Just quickly go and we'll reduce the brightness to a part where we can see this restart text visible. Okay. You can make this small by clicking on this particular arrow. You can choose whatever. If you want to make the backdrop of this button small, you can do that. Yeah, I feel it's okay. Me put this aside now. Okay, so we have, so I'll quickly align it. So yeah, we'll come back to the code. I'll quickly align this danger zone to here. Yeah, pad will be here. So restart button we'll see for some time here, but at some point we'll code this and we'll make sure that restart button appears only when we have a game over backdrop. So for that we'll click on the stage, we'll click one more backdrop, we'll add. So I'll do the same procedure as whatever we have done for the entire thing. I'll create a rectangle box. I'll quickly change the color of this. I think this looks good. So let me add a text over there, again saying game over, and let us quickly add a white color for this. Okay, bring it to big size. So yeah, so now we created all our sprites and backdrops, whatever we need for our entire game. So let's quickly jump into the code. So as we created all our static sprites, we will create the game now. We will code into it. So first of all, we will click on the ball, we will select the sprite, we will code for this. So I'm not covering every basic term, so if you want to understand basics clearly, feel free to check out our first video. I'll give it in the description box, please check it. So whenever you start any Scratch program, directly start with the event. So after that event, I want it to run forever, so I take a forever loop. When I take a forever loop, it will completely go forever. So before going forever loop, I'll make it turn 50 degrees, and also I want it to show it. So we'll see why we are using show, because we are in different scenarios wherein, like, if we have the game over, we shouldn't see this ball. So in that cases, we will write a separate event where it says to hide in some point, so we have to explicitly make it show at some point. So it will be clear in the later part of the video. So we move this by 10 steps, or even you want, if you can make it 15 steps, but if it reaches on the edge, it should bounce. So I'll add if on edge bounce. Let's quickly see what's happening. Cool. Yeah, this is bouncing on edge. Now I want to have an if loop. If it's touching this pad, I want it to bounce. I want it to bounce and move to some other location. So I'll go to sensing, I'll take a touching. So I'll keep pad. So if it touches here, I want it to rotate 180 degrees, either in any direction. I want it to rotate into 180 degrees. Double click 180 and move 10 steps. Okay, then you can wait for some time. Waiting, you can keep 0.5 seconds. As of now, our mouse pad is static, so this padded. So first let me add a click event. So here also I want a forever loop. forever it should be going. So here also I want to make it show when I click. Yeah, so I want to set my pad position with respect to my mouse pointer. So I want to set the value to the mouse pointer value. So let us quickly grab this sensing. Sorry. Let us quickly move it to motion, set X, so which actually sets the X value. So now we go to sensing, we'll put mouse X. So what this means is whenever I click, see how it is moving. We are able to see the ball bouncing. Yeah, and it stops, it bounces back. So, but we are not seeing any feedback or something, right? So let us quickly add a score to this ball when it bounces onto the pad. So yeah, this block, this is the advanced block I was talking in the earlier video. So you can create your own variables, not only you can't depend always on the Scratch variables whatever they provide. So you can click on the make variable. Let us keep for all sprites for now. In coming videos we will see what's the difference between all sprites and only for these sprites, how it differs. So let me quickly tell score. So yeah, you can see that score is showing here. So whenever it's touching the pad, I want change the score by 1. Okay, I'll just add score by 1. So now you see whenever you touches, you see that score is being increased. Now it's time to implement the other logic. When the ball touches the danger zone, our game should end. To do that, we'll add one more variable called lives. So we don't want to show it. So if you don't want to show it, that you can click on this checkbox and it will remove when score will go, but we want to show the score, so you can keep it that way. So whenever the ball touches the danger zone, we want to make the lives 0 or less than 0. So before doing that, let us quickly add one more if loop. If it's not enter here, you have to keep in this for it's a separate if. So you have to add one more sensing, that is touching. Now it's about danger. If you touch danger, you need to reduce the life by some value. Before that, we'll set the value. Say before doing that, we'll set the value to 1. So lives will be 1. So when it touches, we'll make it 0 or even less. So now we come back to variables again and we'll change the value. So we have to decrease it. So we'll make -1. So when the ball touches, it will. So now comes the important concept of broadcasting messages. Whenever you want to other components let this event happen, other blocks let this event happen, you'll broadcast some messages and they'll be listening for those messages, and when they listen to the messages, those particular events or tasks will be triggered. So let us quickly add a broadcast message. We'll go to events. So broadcast message we'll add. So if it touches, what message we want to broadcast is game over. So we'll broadcast a message game over. So which event or which block should listen to this game over? So first of all, our whatever backdrop we created, it should be listening. So when I click on backdrops, have different backdrops, right? This should be triggered when we have a game over. So as on when the game gets over, we have to switch a backdrop to game over. So we'll go to looks, we'll pick switch backdrop. It's similar to switch costume. Now it's already in switch backdrop to game over. So yeah, now we'll just try it. We'll Yeah, you see there is switching off backdrop, but we have still these paddle, ball, restart, everything shown. So whenever we click on the restart, we have to go back to our game. So let us bring back the event when this sprite is clicked. We will broadcast a new message. So that says restart. Okay, and we need to switch back to our backdrop, neon tunnel, and also we have to add one more event. When you receive this restart, you need to hide. I'll just duplicate this, hide, and I'll keep it here. Okay, let's quickly click on the stage. We go to backdrop, tunnel, we click on this. See, we are now able to see this. It goes, yeah, click on. But you see, when you click on restart, there is nothing happening. Why? Because we are having this event to happen only when flag is clicked. So when you click again flag, it will happen. So we don't want to click on restart and again click on flag, right? So we have to make that fix now. Let's see whether, yes. See, if we click on here, we have seen nothing. We have to click on flag again. So to fix that, we have something called, when we go to code, so this event is turning only when the click is happening. So we'll duplicate the entire code, we keep it, we'll say when I receive restart. So when you receive, everything should happen. So this should be the same with duplicate. You can duplicate this, that thing, you can pull, you can add when I receive restart. So, and one more thing, let's play this game once and I'll tell you that. So yeah, restart, you see that, but you are not seeing this danger zone. It's because we haven't added a danger zone also for the click. So you can duplicate, when you click this, you need to hit show. Yeah, see, but you are still seeing here danger zone, so that to be fixed. So if you want to fix that, you need to go to danger zone and also say that when you receive game over, you should hide. So we have to fix this danger zone not to be appearing in our game over session. So when backdrop switches to game over, you need to hide. Yes. When neon tunnel, you need to show. So let us hit on restart. So nothing. When you click on, it's coming back. So one thing to be noticed here, the score is still remaining the same. That should not be happening. So whenever you hit on the danger zone and you go back to the reset game, you need to be make it 0. So let us make it fall. Okay, this, when you click on reset, this should go 0. So you have to come to here, reset. You need to, before switching back, you need to reset the score to 0. So variables, set score to 0. See, you see that score is set back to 0. Okay friends, that's all we got for this video. I hope this game is interesting and easy to learn. Please try out this game. I'll put this project in the description below. Try to access that link and play around. In the coming videos, we'll bring more animations. If you want to see something interesting, please comment it down below. Please subscribe to our channel Learn a New Desire and share it with your friends and family. Thank you. Thanks for watching.